Really, man, I have no idea. I've tried everything. My bank account is in the red. I don't understand why things are not working. So, yeah, right now I am in financial straits. Listen, if you are listening to me right now and you are in a similar situation and you are looking for the top 5 emergency loans needed today, I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great and blessed as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the top 5 emergency loans needed today. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not 20 days from now, today. Number 5, we have Clearview Loans. Our score, 8 over 10. With Clearview Loans, first of all, you have a market. This is a marketplace lender. This is not a direct lender, okay? So they have access to tens of lenders who will work with you. And soft pull is possible depending on the state you're applying from. So you can actually preserve your FICO score, no hard pull before you actually decide to go with the lender. And funding can occur within 6 hours. 6 hours. That's just fantastic. So this Clearview Loans is great for small emergency loans up to $5,000. And they've been doing this for a few years now. So they have some experience, okay? And basically, this is a very user-friendly platform. They basically, they have no restriction as to how you can use the funds. This is an emergency. What they care about is giving you the money that you need. They're not asking you to provide the reason, the rationale behind your emergency. No. As long as you meet the requirements that the lenders have put in place, you are good to go. You get your money within 6 to 24 hours, okay? $5,000 maximum. So what are the eligibility requirements? Now, you need to have a job or receive regular income. And this is what we love, that you don't have, if you have a part-time job or full-time job, as long as you have a frequency in your income, they will work with you. You need to earn at least $800 monthly. So that's gross income. $800 pre-tax income. You need to have an active checking account. You must be at least 18 years of age to access emergency loan providers through Clearview Loans. Now you have to think about the cost. The costs are kind of high, so you have to. We're looking at an APR that goes from 10% all the way to 35%. In some cases, they can go all the way to 78%. At the end of the day, it's all about emergencies, right? If you need to have access to cash, who cares about the APR? You just need the cash right now to take care of what you need to take care about, right? What you need to take care of. It's all about emergencies, and you can use the money for everything. You can use the money for unexpected expenses. You can take care of a family member who is sick, your car, and your car needs repair, and you cannot access a personal loan, and you can take care of a wedding, whatever it is. Maximum amount $5,000, okay? And the application process is safe and secure. They will fund you within 24 hours, and you can get loans from $500, okay? $500 to $5,000. Number 4, we have bad credit loans. Our score 8.5 over 10. Here again, you have access to a soft pull process possible. So depending on the state you're applying from, you can have a soft pull done on your credit. So no hard inquiry, okay? And funding can occur within 4 hours. 4 hours. So if you have bad credit, if you have poor credit, if you are in the 300s, the 400s, in terms of FICO score, you're looking for a loan from a respectable online lender, you want to think about bad credit loans. And you have urgent loans for bad credit. And say if you're looking for, let's say, their maximum amount is $10,000. So you're looking at $500 to $10,000, okay? And one thing I just want to say here is that their APRs are kind of high, but we love the flexibility they give you in terms of repayment. So you can pay from 90 days to 72 months. Think about that. 6 years. This is really good. 6 years. So you have $5,000 to $10,000, and the APR goes from $599 all the way to 78%. In some cases, we have approached 3 digits. Now, the only thing is that when you think about bad credit loans in general, you always have people who will criticize and say, well, the APR is kind of high. They are just stealing from you. This is just crazy. But guess what? You are in an emergency. and your reflex is to survive. Your reflex is to get the cash you need to get to do whatever you need to do. Who cares about APR? If you got to survive, you want to get the cash first. And once you have the cash, you can have philosophical discussions about APR being high. So we're just telling you here that bad credit loans can be an option. They can be an option. All options are on the table if you need access to cash. And we love the fact that now, obviously, the service is free. They're not charging you any fees, but they might actually sell your data. That's how they make money extra. They might sell your data to loan providers or lines of credit providers, and sometimes you might get SMS messages for new products or that kind of stuff. But this comes with the territory. That's what it is, okay? But the application process is very simple. They have a simple online application process. It takes about 2 minutes to fill. And what it is here is that this, again, is not a direct lender. This is a marketplace lender. So once you fill in your information, you will get offers. You'll get soft pull offers, and you'll get offers from the lenders, and you can choose the one that you want to go with. But once you agree with an offer and you decide to move on for real, this is when a hard inquiry will occur. So your credit will be accessed, and they'll see whether you qualify or not. But again, the minimum FICO score here is 300. Okay, so if you have a FICO score of 300, you could still qualify for an emergency loan needed today. Number 3, folks, we have Upstart. Our score 9/10. With Upstart, soft pull is possible. Okay, so no credit inquiry, no hard credit inquiry from the get-go, and funding is possible within 8 hours. 8 hours, okay? So when you think about Upstart, you have to think about one of the most reputable lenders for those seeking an unsecured personal loan or emergency loan, okay? And they've been doing this for a while now. They have actually covered a lot of customers, actually more than 1 million customers. And so the loan amounts here are more generous. You can actually get all the way to $50,000. Minimum loan amount $1,000. Okay, and what we love here is that the FICO score is 600, minimum 600. So if you have a 600 minimum FICO score, you can qualify for an emergency loan needed today with Upstart. And the platform is really great. The platform is great. They will work with you. They are very user friendly. You can actually apply online or over the phone, but we recommend that you apply online because they actually are very fast that way. And they will perform a soft credit inquiry. This is important that you need to understand that they will perform a soft credit inquiry before approving your emergency loan request, okay? The soft credit inquiry will not affect your credit score, but accepting a loan offer and continuing the application process will affect your credit score because you need to sign the promissory note. They'll need to make sure that your FICO score is legit, it's for real, whatever, okay? And Upstart typically offers personal loans to individuals with fair credit. In other words, you want to have a credit score of at least 600. If you fall within this category, you can receive instant loan approval and get your emergency loan in your bank account within 24 hours. And we have seen people, we have actually worked with clients who got approved within 8 hours, okay? And so besides passing the credit check, you cannot qualify for an emergency loan from Upstart if you don't have a regular source of income. So the minimum annual income here is $12,000. Okay, or if you don't have a job offer starting in 6 months. You must also have a U.S. address and be at least 18 years old. This is important. In terms of cost, so income, $12,000. That's the gross income. This is yearly. So you need to make at least $1,000 a month. Okay, in terms of cost, Upstart charges an origination fee that can be as high as 8% of the loan amount. So depending on the amount of money you borrow, your loan interest can be between 5.31% and 35.99%. And you can use personal loans or emergency loans needed today from Upstart to pay for debt consolidation, home improvements, weddings, relocation, and medical costs. And if you live outside of California, Washington, Connecticut, Illinois, and the District of Columbia, you can access loan options for school expenses. Number 2, folks, we have here personal loans. Our score 9.5/10. So if you're looking for an emergency loan needed today, you're looking for a generous loan amount, you want to think about personal loans. Here, soft pull is possible depending on the state you're applying from, and funding can be accessed within 12 hours. 12 hours. And loans can go all the way to $35,000. Okay, we love the fact that personal loans is also a marketplace lender. They basically will connect you with a constellation of lenders who are ready to fund your needs. Okay, and we love the fact that their platform is very easy to use. It's very intuitive, user friendly. They have a nice dashboard. The application process takes about 3 to 5 minutes. Nothing complicated. They'll ask for your salary, they'll ask for your employment history, they'll ask for your address, and they'll do a soft pull depending on the states that you are actually applying from. So after reviewing your information, loan providers that are willing to work with you will send you offers. Okay, you can then enter a loan agreement with the lender with the best offer. So this is really good. So the minimum loan amount that you can access via personal loans is $1,000. So you're looking at $1,000 all the way to $35,000. That's a big delta, if you were to ask me. But this is good because it gives you flexibility. It gives you options. Okay, you can also find lenders willing to offer up to $35,000 with a 2 or 6 year payback period. So depending on the loan amount and the lender, the interest rate can be between 6.99% and 35.99%. So after receiving your loan approval, you can get the loan amount in your bank within a business day. In some cases, it can be within 12 hours. Not a problem. Okay, what are the eligibility, folks, if you are interested in this product? So personal loans uses a simple online form to determine customer eligibility for a loan. So the requirements for eligibility include proof that you are at least 18 years old. You need to have a valid social security number. If you have an I-10, you cannot qualify for this loan. If you have an individual tax identification number, you will not qualify. You need to have U.S. citizenship or permanent residency, a regular source of income, a valid checking account. Okay, so within minutes of submitting the online form, you'll have access to multiple funding options. So this is really good. Okay, and they do not have a minimum credit score requirements. This is really good. In terms of cost, personal loans has no hidden fees or upfront costs for its services. However, the company may receive compensation for sharing your information with lenders. I've said this before, okay? So the lender you choose to work with may charge an origination fee or other fees. And origination fees typically vary between lenders, and you can use the money for everything. You can use the money to consolidate debt, to cover unexpected expenses. You can finance a vacation or even start a business. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about the top 5 emergency loans needed today. And number 1, the best of the best in our view, Avant. I will score 10 over 10. With Avant, you have soft pull possible. Okay, this is a lender that has been innovating the last few years. We love the fact that the platform is great. It's very user intuitive in terms of the application process itself. It's very clear from the get-go, and funding within 4 hours is possible. 4 hours. Write this down. 4 hours. So if you're looking for, let's say you're looking for an emergency loan today, and you just need the cash ASAP, and you want a soft pull possible, you just don't want to risk you don't want to risk a hard pull on your credit. Right off the bat, you wanted to consider Avant, okay? And they are one of the top providers of unsecured personal loans and emergency loans, and they have served more than 1 million customers. If you go online and you check the reviews are stellar, okay? And they're still doing it. And we love the fact that they have a user-friendly app, okay, and they have transparency in terms of the monthly loan repayment terms, okay. As I said before, this is a lender that we have actually seen. We have been reviewing this lender for a while now, and we've seen that they are constantly innovating. So in terms of loan amounts, approved customers can access a minimum loan amount of $2,000 and a maximum of $35,000. So when you think about Avant, I want you to think about an emergency loan needed today that will oscillate from $2,000 to $35,000, and you have to repay the loan within 24 to 60 months, okay? Anywhere from 2 years to 5 years, not a problem. So depending on how much you borrow, interest rates at Avant can be between 9.95% and 35.99%. So again, this is really good. In terms of eligibility here, they will perform a soft credit check. I've said this before, so they will perform, and this check will not affect your credit score. And Avant typically gives loans to applicants with credit score of 600 and more, okay? And individuals with bad credit scores will have to contact other lenders for emergency loans. And you can increase your chances of getting an Avant emergency loan by achieving a 70% debt to income ratio. This is kind of good. In other words, you are trying to not a 70%, sorry, a 30%. In other words, the 70% means that you have a 70% in terms of income and 30% for your debts. Okay, so a 30% debt to income ratio, this should be your target. But if you are between 30 and 45%, you can still increase your chances. But it's important that you constantly work on your credit. Okay, so Avant charges an origination fee. So depending on your loan terms, that fee may be as high as 4.75%, and they also charge late fees and dishonored payment fees when customers fail to pay within the agreed repayment period. So you can use your emergency loan from Avant for medical expenses, auto repairs, relocations, home improvements, and other expenses. Okay. However, you cannot use the money borrowed for business-related financial emergencies. Before I close today's conversation, let's just have an overview of when we talk about emergency loans needed today. Basically, how do they work? So if you urgently need cash to resolve a pressing issue, you can consider getting an emergency loan, right? Emergency loans are loans that you can quickly get to pay for unexpected expenses or other urgent matters. Now, the urgency here depends on your situation. What qualifies as urgency for one person does not qualify for urgency as urgency for another person. And while several emergency loan types are available, the common ones are short-term with high interest rates and fees. And most emergency lenders deliver loan proceeds to the borrower's account within a few hours, all the way to a few days. Okay, and so after approving the loan application. So those lenders, Avant personal loans, Upstart, Bad Credit Loans, and Clearview Loans do have the system in place to actually approve you really fast. So while shopping around, you want to look for some features that can help you differentiate the great lenders from less than stellar lenders. You want to pay attention to the eligibility requirements, the loan amounts, the cost, the payment terms, the speed of funds. This is really important. The online services, if any, if they offer online services, you want to think about that as well. This is really critical. And you also want to think about the overall customer service. Okay, is it 24/7? Is it online? Is it on the phone? Whatever. So to get an emergency loan with bad credit, you have to understand that there are possibilities also. Bad credit means that you have a FICO score that goes from 300 to 600. And if you really think about it from the lender's perspective, if you have poor credit, you represent a higher risk, right? So they have to actually mitigate the risk also. And the question here is, how do you get that? Now, you have to do your research, of course, but you want to think about two players. You want to think about bad credit loans and personal loans. And everybody goes through financial problems at any point in their life. And it's all about how you manage the repayment process. So once you get the loans, you have a system in place. Talk to me right now about the system you have in place to repay the loan. Because simply because, if you say, listen, I need 20 grand or I need 10 grand to take care of an emergency. Okay. Have you thought about how you're going to repay it? Have you thought about a budget? Do you have a system in place to say, okay, I'm going to pay $100 every week, or $1,000 every week, or $500 every week, whatever it is, you need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy in place so that your emergency does not become a bigger problem to your FICO score, okay? Because you got the loan, you have a high APRs, and now you have a bigger problem, which is that you are not able to repay the loan. And what are the types of emergency loans? So when we talk about emergency loans, you do have several types. In today's conversation, all the emergency loans that I spoke to you about are unsecured. So in other words, the lenders are not asking you to pledge any collateral. They're not asking for that, okay? But there are other types of emergency loans. So you have payday loans. You have home equity loans. You have personal loans. This is what we talk about today. You have credit card cash advances. You have auto title loans. Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that payday loans they do have crazily high APR. So you really want to stay away from those. I mean, obviously we have covered payday loans on this show before, and we believe that there is a market for it. There is a short-term market for it because everybody does not qualify for the loans that I have mentioned here. So you never know. So you can use a payday loan, but please be very careful about the crazily high APRs. And this is something that you need to use. Maybe let's say use one once in your lifetime or twice, but don't make it a habit. Okay, home equity loans, here you have to pledge equity in your home. And for credit card cash advances, this could be also very high in terms of the interest rate that you have to pay. And auto title, you have to pledge the equity in your car. And where can you get emergency loans? Well, you have a constellation of places. Okay, from traditional banks to credit unions to online lenders and even alternative lenders. So when you think about bad credit loans or clear view loans, you have marketplaces. You have marketplace lenders that basically they actually gather a constellation of lenders. Okay, and it's important that at the end of the day, you want to pay attention to your emergency fund. When we speak about emergency loans, we have to also think about the flip side of it, which is emergency fund, so that if something happens, push come to shove, if something happens in your family, in your budget, whatever, you do have something. You have a rainy day account to fall back to. All right, so that you don't have to walk around, you don't have to run around and ask for an emergency loan, because you already have an emergency fund. So please think about that today or tonight, or whatever the time of the day when you're listening to this conversation. Make sure that you understand your expenses. You need to open an online or high yield savings account. You need to make regular contributions to your emergency fund. Okay, it's important to think about automating your savings to replenish what you spend. So it's important. And at the end of the day, when you do all these things, you have better chances of not having to look for an emergency fund, because an emergency fund really costs money. That's the bottom line. Before I do the recap today, please check out this loan evaluation approach video. It talks to you about the rigorous methodology we have in place when it comes to analyzing emergency loans needed today on this show. Check this out. All right, folks, let's quickly recap the top 5 emergency loans needed today. Number 1, we have Avant, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have personal loans, 9.5 over 10. Number 3, we have Upstarts, 9 over 10. Number 4, we have bad credit loans, 8.5 over 10. And number 5, we have Clearview loans, 8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.